We've been waiting quite a while to get the full Beaten Favorites Bandwagon software onto software. One reason was that some of the odds parameters that Len used, he couldn't get them all from the BrisNet data file, the data file we use to pull up information to program with. So we've had that now accessed though probably for the past 4 or 5 months. So Len decided it was finally time to do the Beaten Favorites Bandwagon. Now, many of you may already have a copy of this in the old paper or ebook version by Jerry White. Very, very high percentage system, a little bit tedious, but you know, if you're doing it by hand. But now, of course, when it's on software, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, basically, if you've been a handicapper for any length of time, you're probably familiar with the concept of the beaten favorite. The idea is that, you know, if a horse was bet last time, if the horse was the favorite and was beaten, and he didn't get beaten too badly, he has a better than average chance of coming back and winning again. The fact that the horse was supported, especially if he was well supported, under 2-1, could often mean that the connection, stable, owner, etc., insiders had some money on that thing. So the idea was that if the horse came back, especially if he came back within a reasonable length of time, being that he was well supported last time, he'd have a better chance to win this time. And that is true. Now, the fact is, though, you can't just go out and bet every beaten favorite, because you'll lose money. While they do win at a higher percentage than regular favorites, the percentage that they win at and the overall mutual is not high enough to make money with. So what you have to do is, and what Len and what Jerry did in his system, what Len did in the software, was find a way to take a beaten favorite. You know, it's a beaten favorite, it's a horse that's already going to win at a higher percentage, and then find a way to make that horse even more qualified, give it even a better chance to win. Go down here quickly. One of the interesting concepts, one of the things that Len found was, here, an interesting fact, average favorite win rate these days is about 34%. It's a little higher than it used to be. Average win rate of a beaten favorite, a horse that lost one of its last 2 races as a favorite, is 37%. So a beaten favorite alone is going to win at a higher percentage. But here's the really interesting part. The average win rate of a beaten favorite, who is also the favorite today, wins at about 42%. Now, again, that's a great percentage. Then again, it's just a little bit below what you need on a flat bet basis to make money. So again, once you know this, once you know that the horses that were beaten favorites also the favorite today wins at 42%, it'd be logical to concentrate on this category and find ways to improve on that 40%, which is exactly what Jerry did in his system and Len did. In other words, Len found a way to add additional factors into the program to bring that percentage up to close to 50%. And again, one of the interesting things about this program is that even though, I'll read you a quote here. This is from one of our testers. He tests a lot of our programs. But basically, he says, this is the highest percentage win in place method I've ever tested for you. The worst I saw for win average of over 900 or so test races was 47.6 at Keeneland. Best was 56.8 at FanDuel, but, you know, I don't know, FanDuel, you know, they got a short field, so that makes sense. 56.3 at Finger Lakes. But overall, the win average was 52% in place, nearing 72%. And then here's the real interesting part. And so what really floored me, and us when we examined the data too, we felt the same way, is that it wasn't all heavy chalk winning. There are some decent win place mutuals to boot. You'll get your $6, $7, $8 horses, which really brings up your overall ROI. And then, of course, you're going to have your $4, $3, $4, $5 horses. But the fact is, it's not all heavy chalk, and that's why with this system, you can flat bet these shorter priced horses, count on winning 52% of the time. You could actually make money given the average mutual, which is a little bit under $5. So So basically, the system's 50% win, 70% places. And on the show rate, it's 92%. Now, you're not going to make money betting every show horse $2.10, $2.20, $2.40 or whatever, even at that percentage. However, if you're using a modified parlay system like Dr. Anthony's parlay power match or hammering the chalk, you could do very, very well, actually, with both place and show prices. And just here, we just took, we said we could choose just about any card over the past 10 or 20 years, the results would be the same. In other words, they're going to be very, very high percentage situations. The number of plays, most of the plays that you will have on a given day will finish first or second. And again, we just took like 10, we looked at 10 different tracks just randomly from the past 2 months. Here's Saratoga, 821, 3 plays, 2 wins a second. Mountaineer, 9-7, 2 plays, 1 win, 1 second. Gulfstream, 2 plays, 1 win, 1 second. Belterra, 1 play, 1 win. Del Mar, 3 plays, 1 win, 2 seconds. So again, most days at most tracks, your horses are going to run first or second, and usually if they don't run first or second, they'll run third. It's a very, very high percentage system, which you can see basically what we've done with the screen here. If you can see, it concentrates heavily on the last 2 races, actually, last 2 races finish. There's a days, there's a recency factor. The odds part was the part that Len had to get some additional information on to really make the system work. And really, this was one of the real keys. So he had to go back and in the odds figure into an overall pattern that were favorable to horses that came back and won. And we've got a trainer percentage, et cetera, comments. But and here's a interesting Phantom Smoke, 50% pluser, we call them. Being favorite bandwagon horse. Favorite last time, favorite this time. And these horses win over 50% of the time, places around 71%. The other nice, so again, you've got a super high percentage. Again, you're not going to get a lot of action. Some days have no plays, some days have 1 or 2, maybe 3. But, with simulcasting, you can play a lot of different tracks. And again, you can be assured that most of the horses that come up as plays, as top plays here, Contender 1, are going to win or place. Another thing we did with this program, we one of our longtime customers, he's a contest player. He does nothing but play contests. He's been in the Las Vegas contest 7 times. He's won several other contests, including a Breeders' Cup handicapping contest once. But he's got a methodology that he uses for high class animals, allowance and stakes race super selectors, what we call it. Also, we use very high, $80,000, $100,000 claimers too, and it seems to work very well. But it's a method that really relies heavily on class, which would make sense if you think about higher class animals, and then speed, pace, the connections, etc. But he's been using it for decades and done very well with it. Wanted to know if we could program it. So we did. We went ahead and programmed it also, and so we also included it at no extra charge on this software. And the plays will show up down here. There can be one, usually there's only one contender, sometimes there can be 2. Here's a $31 horse at Saratoga, a $10 horse at Del Mar. The plays don't come up again. You might see 2 or 3 a day, but some of them pop at really nice prices. So this gives the overall program, while you're dealing with mostly shorter price horses with a beaten favorite bandwagon, this gives you a price element that you can use as well. And again, it's very effective in good stakes races. This is something that I think you'll all enjoy, because you'll be cashing so many tickets. And again, if you do it right, you do it according to the manual, you'll make money betting relatively short priced horses. And again, to win, it doesn't make a flat bet on the place. But again, if you're playing the place using a hammering the chalk or power match, you can do with it. But overall, very high percentage hit rate. It's only $88. Take a look at it on the website. Give us a call, 1-800-696-0067. And we'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much.